The armor of the enemies will be crushed and they will be shred such in a grinder. Welcome dear Paragon community to the deck guide of the grinder deck from Gideon. A grinder shreds everything which comes across his path, and that's how Gideon acts with his enemies. The armor of the opponents will be shred and crushed. Your enemies have nothing to counter. Get roped into the gameplay of the grinder deck by Rapsplay aka Sonic. The gameplay link is in the description beneath the guide. And now, let's shred some enemies. The prime card of the grinder deck is the Archmagus. The consumables for the beginning is the health potion, the mana potion and the cast token. For the starting 6 additional points you farmed, equip the Sage's Ward and upgrade it with the minor cast and the 2-point health upgrade. For the 9 next points, do not upgrade with the greater health, do take the ENG crystals. This will give you more mana and even more damage. The 3 next points you can upgrade the greater health, so you get even more HP. Now it is on the starting of the mid game, you got a lot of health, enough mana and doing good damage. The next one is your decision to go on. I personally would say starting or going next with the tuned barrier, giving you even more HP and giving you armor so you can survive in your ulti even longer. And in addition the barrier of will, getting an armor, aura and getting an active shield and getting more armor at all. The next points will get into the card which will make him to a grinder. It's called the plasma channel. With an active, shred 32 energy armor from any nearby for 4 seconds. Shred value stack based on number of nearby enemy heroes. This means you cannot activate it when you're casting your ulti. So you have to jump in, cast plasma channel and then activate your ulti. So all enemies which are in your ulti get additional energy damage. So maybe let's say you got all 5 enemies into your ulti. So 5 times 32 you got 160 energy armor shred at the enemy. So you do more damage and all your energy damage based allies doing more damage too. So you're doing a massive amount of damage. The last card I would equip is the Wellspring Staff. So this increases a little bit of your mana pool and gives you a big amount of damage. So your plasma channel and your shred, so the ulti does even more damage. If you say, nah, I would play with it more cooldown reduction, I would recommend so you discard the Wellspring Staff and equip the Etherweave Mesh, so you don't need any longer the tuned barrier, and so you can equip maybe the Chronomancer disc. This will give you more damage. At the end you will have 20% cooldown reduction, which is more than enough, and 75 bonus mana. At the end, when I see, oh, I got enough of bonus mana, I discard the ENG crystals and equip the Shadow Scroll, so I do even more damage, because I do not only shred with my plasma channel, I only got piercing 2. So I don't need to activate my plasma channel every time I want to hit a spell. So try this deck out, play it, shred the enemies, evaporate them with this deck. I think we should have a look at the stats which will grant us this deck. Like you can see, there are 2 main cards only, the Barrier of Will and the Plasma Channel, which will grant you physical armor and bonus mana pool. And most important, the 3 bonuses, plus 22 armor aura and an active shield, and the most important one, so he is a really grinder, 32 energy armor will be shred, so 32 times number of the enemies. If you get all 5 enemies into these active cards when fully activated, you shred 160 points, so the tanks will be get scared too. The third card, you can choose between the Wellspring Staff or the Etherweave Mesh. So if you want to do more damage and say, I don't need really cooldown reduction, so take the Wellspring Staff, and if you want to have more cooldown reduction, take the Etherweave Mesh. For the 4th, the 5th and the 6th cards, you can choose from these 5 cards. So if you took the Wellspring Staff, you should equip for energy armor the barrier. If you got the Etherweave Mesh, you don't need this one, you can choose from these 4. So let's say you got this Wellspring Staff, which is my personally favorite. So you can choose the Shadow, you need the Tuned Barrier, and the Amp Crystal and the Sage's Ward, and at the ultra late game I maybe discard the Amp Crystal and take the Shadow Scroll. And if you got the Mesh, you don't need the barrier, and then I would say take the Chronomancer Disc, the Amp Crystal and the Sage's Ward, because you need bonus HP. Just check this game deck out, play with him, grind the enemies, shred them apart, kill them, and if you liked this deck, like this guide, leave a thumbs up. Also look at the other deck guides I created at the info boxes in here, or if you want to have some deck ideas or deck guides for you especially, just write me into the comments or on Facebook at Davsaru, which is linked beneath this guide. So I would say, shred the enemies. We will see each other on Agora as a Gideon, as a grinder. I would say, see you next time in the next guide, and so goodbye.